car around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired for my last job. I acquired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Beat my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good.
It's just unbelievable.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Little hot mic moment there. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here.
Nobody's dropping any F-bombs.
No.
Nope. I knew the mic was hot. I'm looking right at the board. I was just trying to tease people, get them in, get them engaged. Morning, Heather Stewart.
We're engaged.
The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at A.T. Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed all the way down to the red funnel and the non-red nectar for your new hummingbird feeder.
Which is red.
Right. 71 degrees in Victoria under mostly clear skies, heading to a high today of 91.
Nice.
So much to talk about.
Can't wait till we hit that day next week. The high today will be 88.
Right. So much to talk about today. Not the least of which is there's a reason I'm wearing an Astros jersey, and there's a reason I'm wearing an A&M Victoria hat.
Scott Tomko, Mark Kurtz, Justin Glass on the podium. The only podium Scott Tomko will see is this one because the Rangers are faltering.
The Rangers are done.
First State Bank of Louise, Astros update. Let's start right there because the Astros win and sweep the Rangers.
Woo! I felt bad for last night.
Who?
I have to tell you, I saw one of the more courageous and really quality plays by a right fielder last night. Adolis Garcia made a running, diving, important catch for the Rangers. And I watched, and I'm not exaggerating, as I watch Yordan Alvarez on the shelf for a while with his twisted ankle. I watched Adolis Garcia leg out 2 infield hits and efforts and got thrown out. And you could just tell that the man's not 100%. And yet when they needed him in right field, he got it done. That guy's probably a really, really good teammate. And I want to stand objectively corrected because I've been anti him because he killed us so bad last year. Yeah. Astros win the silver boot.
And I don't hate the Rangers. I just like the Astros more.
Absolutely. I don't hate the Rangers. I've been to many, many, many Rangers games when I lived in the Metroplex.
And if the Rangers end up, if the Rangers go further in the playoffs,
that's who I'll be pulling for. Absolutely. No doubt about it. They won't make the playoffs this year. But anyway, if they did, I will tell you that Garcia is a gamer. And I used to he just destroyed the Astros so many times. But Astros win the silver boot, which means that in the head-to-head matchup, the Astros won more games than they lost. And it's worth noting that the Astros have won the last 9 straight silver boots. It's not by chance. It is not by chance or luck or trash can,
banging
chicanery.
No.
That the Astros win the division because they just do. They're just that good. Now that puts them half a game up on the Mariners. Half a game up on the Mariners.
The Mariners lost for the first time in 11.
Yeah,
they had won 10 in a row until last night. And
nobody wins every baseball game, right? So the fact that they've won 10 in a row, I wouldn't be surprised to see them drop the next 4.
They could.
It's just not bad math.
And it would be nice because they play the Mariners and the Astros for 3 of them starting tomorrow night, which leads me into what I'm going to talk about next because the Mariners, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if you go to the A&M Victoria Jaguars Athletic Fundraising Banquet tonight, you could win and bid on tickets to that Sunday matinee, graciously donated by Ben and Diana Galvan. 4 tickets to that game. Also, I want to show you this because this is pretty cool.
Hence the hat. See, I'm wearing with the A&M Victoria. That's why I'm wearing the hat. It takes a lot of thought to be as schleppy as I choose to be. I'm wearing the Astros shirt because as we continue the update, I tell you who really played well last night. One, Jeremy Pena made an amazing defensive play to end the game, aided by more than once last night. You see why Christian Walker is a Gold Glover. And I'm going to tell you, folks, Christian Walker is going to win the Gold Glove at first base this year as well. He made some plays last night. Pena made a deep behind third base jump throw, and it pulled Walker down the line towards home, scooped the ball, tagged the runner, boom, boom, bang, bang, out. Late to end the game, he made a one hopper from Pena that good throw, but not a great throw. And I tell you what, the Astros are rolling defensively. Great defense. Yeah. So are you just struggling?
No, I was waiting.
Look,
there
it
is.
Look, that is real leather tooled by a A&M Victoria athlete.
Laney Glass.
How about that?
As the golfer.
Jared's, Justin's.
All related.
They're all related. Okay, so she's a Glass.
And Laney tooled that in leather. It's on an Arctic ice chest, 32 quart. That'll be one of the items up for sale at the auction tonight. Chancellor Glenn Hager's office graciously donated a couple of tickets to any A&M home game this year. Remaining game, you get to pick it. Plus, invited to the Chancellor's tailgate and parking. So that'll be another item.
That'll be tea and crumpets. I thought maybe the Chancellor might donate like a DEI handbook. A&M's been getting so much flack about their DEI garbage on campus, and Hager's swift to act. Swift to act. They've got to be swift to act.
So come on out tonight. $50 tickets at Club Westerner starting at 6 o'clock. Should be fun.
Magic is telling us that y'all's audio is too hot. I told them they can't control y'all or turn you down, and Lilo said do it anyway.
So. Magic 95.9. Look, we get a little animated.
So anyway, there we go. Just
do not adjust your set.
Nope. And State Representative Sheriff Louderback's office has donated, is giving us a
new car.
No, but it's very cool.
Oh,
close.
Speaking of,
it's a state of Texas flag that flew over the state capitol on the day Governor Abbott signed Senate Bill 2361, the UHV to A&M system.
Oh, that's really cool.
You would think that maybe the interim president, Jim Nelson, would step up and buy that for the university.
So that's on there.
A couple of $100,000 come in handy.
I sure would.
How about, speaking of, I just hate to commandeer your itinerary, but
no, that's
swift to act. What do you folks make about the assault on freedom of speech? I can't go on. Jimmy Kimmel pulled indefinitely by Disney. So it seems anti-leftist, right? Because Disney, we all know, is so woke and so pro everything goofy Democrat.
Although they took a step back towards the middle when they reappointed or rehired
Bob
Iger.
Going broke.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what I've learned. And I
go woke, go broke, right?
A couple of layers to this. And I want to tell you that I was wrong.
Finally.
It happens. And when it happens, I love to jump on it because it shows my vast humility. And without humility, I would only be great. I wouldn't be great and humble. So I want you to know, which is why I live in the greatest, oldest, and biggest country in the world. That's for the stupid that are thinking I'm serious. I wanted you to know that I was wrong because the other day, just yesterday, in fact, I stated that Republicans, the right, that we don't protest. And you said, they're too busy going to work. Do you remember that exchange?
I do.
And you were correct, and I was correct. However, the right does protest. And I want you to understand the progression and the slap yo mama reality that the left has to deal with. They need us. It was evidenced, I think, most notably first, way back when the Dixie Chicks decided to go to Europe and mouth off about then President George W. Bush. And all of a sudden, country radio just quit playing their music. And they came back and said, it's not fair. You're in a popularity contest. And right now, you're not popular. We're not going to play you because it says more about us when we do than if we don't. So we're not going to play you. And flash forward to the Bud Light debacle with the tranny dude with his face on the can, and American beer drinkers, the heart and soul, six-pack, Joe six-pack. Those people all said, we'll drink Modelo. We're not going to drink Bud Light. Bud Light lost billions of dollars over a political stance taken by the right. The left didn't quit drinking the beer. The left just couldn't drink enough beer to make up for the fact that the right said, we're out of here. You're promoting that garbage. We're done.
Well, and a marketing campaign that was conjured up by somebody who probably doesn't drink beer.
Right. Tammy Keeling adds to her streak of stupidity and says, can't laugh at the regime and get your merger approved by the FCC. Let me go with that for a minute, Tammy, because that's like you saying Charlie Kirk's an anti-Semite or something. It would be the same type of ignorant, short-sighted, myopic logic that you so often employ here. The next step forward was when the left, a group from California, a group from New York, a group from Canada, just decided to completely destroy any reference to the South at Cracker Barrel. And the American public went, we ain't going. We're done. And guess what? In short order, they decided to rethink their logic. Flash forward to Disney's decision to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel the other night said, the MAGA gang is desperately trying to characterize this kid, 22-year-old man, this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk, as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. First of all, that's a lie. When you lie about people on television and there's nobody to sue, what happens? People quit watching. Now, people have quit watching Jimmy Kimmel for months. His show in the most recent ratings was pulling 1.1 million viewers a night. Jimmy Fallon, which is kind of like Jimmy Kimmel, they're kind of the same pea in a different pod, was pulling 1.3 million people. And Colbert, kind of riding a resurge after being fired by CBS because of his poor ratings, was pulling 2.3, 2.8, more than the other two combined. But I want you to think about where we're at with the state of late night television. By the way, Ash pointed out to me that Colbert, while making I don't know what he was making. CBS was losing $40 million a year.
I think he's making $100 million.
He's making $100 million bucks a year. CBS is losing $40 million bucks a year on the show. I had no clue that the Colbert Show had 100 employees. 100 employees. We have one friend. Commander Cody sits over there.
How y'all doing?
Yeah. And we let him talk. It's very interesting. But if you go, just use the numbers though. Let me do the numbers and then I'm going to hear it. 1.1, 1.3, and 2.3. is fewer listeners, fewer viewers than Jay Leno had, which was 5 point something, which was fewer than David Letterman had, which was 7 point something. So you can add Leno and David Letterman together and get around 12, 13 million viewers a night. You can add those three guys at the bottom together, and Leno and them are 3-4 times as much, but nowhere near the 20 million viewers a night that Johnny Carson got. Johnny Carson was the Michael Jordan of nighttime television. All these people down below that are making so much money.
More the Wilt Chamberlain. There were only 3 stations.
That's such a fair analogy. The difference is people like me and Dawn, if we're up that late, we're watching. Well, if we're up that late, there's unless we get jiggy.
We better not be watching TV.
If we're up that, well, sometimes you have to watch the hockey game together. But if we're up that late, we're watching Netflix. None of you people watch Jimmy Kimmel, but everybody wants to run out and go, oh, it's a freedom of speech issue. No, it's not. Disney was told by one of the largest ABC affiliates.
2 of them, actually.
Okay. We are preempting this garbage. There you go. Now, people are saying, oh, it's sparking speculation. The owners are trying to curry favor.
This is CNN business with the Trump administration.
Which Tammy just blurts out as like being fact. If that is what it is, then you need to find a way to curry favor with the administration, because the administration was voted on by the masses, and we all agree. You can't go on. Just because I'm a conservative person, you lump me in as being a MAGA, and then you want to blame MAGA. One of your own killed the Charlie Kirk, and the reality is he's a 22-year-old man. He's certainly old enough to make his own decisions and stray. It just shows that when evil is in you, you can be raised correctly and still stray.
Well, and here's the problem with Kimmel. By Monday night, he knew better.
That's right. He knew he was lying. He did it for laughs, and it cost him his job.
And I don't even know what that laugh would be on that, because there was no joke, there was no punchline in what he was saying. But I stand in solidarity with the left. But I do have issues with it, because again, it's one thing to go into your boss's office, call him a jerk. It's one thing to violate a morality clause as a condition of your employment by things you say. But it is a completely other. And the ABC affiliates that own, or the the stations that are ABC affiliates, and they feel that they want to preempt Kimmel for that comment, I guess that's on them.
Right.
But I'm worried we're heading down a slippery slope where we don't have true free speech, because the consequences thereof, especially for somebody like Kimmel, who that's his job.
Right.
He lied blatantly, was pushing a false narrative. Punish him for that. I agree. He should have known better, because the fact that the Demo and the leftist media had been pushing this garbage all weekend, that this kid was one of his own and ultra conservative and Christian and blah, 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 when we all know he had skewed from his parents' view or his upbringing and had completely different views, and felt that Charlie Kirk was somebody who spread hatred and needed to die as a result of what he said.
I will admit this, me personally, secure in what I believe, I would have gone, oh, Jimmy, you leftist idiot. You know that's wrong. And I would not have fired off an email to ABC saying you should take that guy off the air personally. But collectively, I understand. And I'll go a step further for you conspiracy considerers. Disney was bleeding cash with this clown. 1.1 million viewers is not enough to pay his bills. And then when they got some pushback from an affiliate, they said it's a good time to make the move, and they just cut him loose, and they can make it look like we're firing you for cause.
Well, they're saying that the FCC chair publicly pressured ABC to punish Kimmel. I believe some remarks on Twitter or social media somewhere. The thing is, this is what the FCC used to do. Howard Stern changed that game with the FCC.
That's right.
Remember George Carlin's famous, the 7 words you can't say on the radio or
That's
TV
right.
or whatever it was?
TV.
The FCC used to come after you for what you said over the public airwaves.
No, that's right. A return to an FCC is fine. And I don't disagree that free speech is somewhat on the ropes. I don't disagree with that. But I also agree that if that's the line in the sand you want to stand on, the problem I have is this. Jimmy Kimmel is not a journalist. He's not on CBS News saying this. He's an entertainer. That's a double-edged sword, right? If he's not on, so the empathetic side of me, as someone who says what he thinks every day, says, well, how are you going to punish that guy when he's not saying, hey, I'm Walter Cronkite here, or in his case, Peter Jennings. He's saying, hey, this is what I think. And at the end of the day, I mean, I probably wouldn't have fired him. Am I surprised he's fired? No. Am I willing to write an email to call for him to be brought back? No, because you got to know your audience. And your audience, or the potential audience, at least half of us are conservative, and we're tired of it.
The fact it took 2 days for Kimmel's comments to even be acted upon tells you all you need to know about his influence, because if he had a bigger audience, it would have been immediate. Yeah. And if he had an audience that didn't just completely drink his Kool-Aid, it would have been immediate.
Tammy Williams says, free speech. A student says, I have a gun. Consequence, go to jail. You can say what you want, but should you?
Yeah, but the Supreme Court's already weighed in on that one. That isn't free speech. Andy Rockovich says he's not entertaining. I agree. But you know what's really interesting about the left? Because what they did in the height of cancel culture was go back and look at people's tweets, Facebook posts from 5, 10, 15 years prior, or dug up old photos of them,
or dug up their calendar from Yale.
Yeah. And tried to get people canceled, yet the left completely ignored Jimmy Kimmel's antics on the Man Show, which was on Comedy Network way back when, full of misogynistic, if you're a leftist, college male type humor, sexual in nature, full of innuendo. But they left Jimmy Kimmel and gave him a pass on that behavior. Right. But you know who they went after? His former partner on the show, Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla, in my mind, was probably funnier than Kimmel.
He is.
And wittier and a little bit more cerebral. But his career didn't go whoop.
They attacked
when
him.
The Man Show left, because the left used the Man Show against Carolla.
Crystal Map asks, do you think Jimmy will sue? I think there's a chance. I also think
well, Scott Snow, that was back when you could actually have a sense of humor. I mean,
you can't anymore because everybody's offended. Or they're offended for people who should be offended.
Well, yeah.
I'm offended that he said about being offended.
I think it's interesting that in this regard, so you've got the left constantly saying electoral college is no good, but one man, one vote. We're a democracy. We're a democracy. They are all about mob rule. Until the mob rises up and says, hey,
rules against one of them.
Half of us don't agree with what you're doing, and we're going to boycott your show if you don't do so. Oh, man, it's just the administration, and they're trying to grease the skids for a merger, and the MAGA has taken over the FCC. There's your democracy. There's your majority rule, you leftist idiots. Because at the end of the day, if it ever spills into the streets, there's just going to be leftists laying around in the gutter with purple hair and rainbow skirts. That's what will happen. Don't threaten me, leftist. You don't really have the guts.
Well,
that's the fact.
What was proven with the Charlie Kirk killing on the right is that those on the right will not go riot, loot, burn their villages down in the wake of something that happens, and the left can't stand that because they also spent all sorts of time accusing the right. Well, you would do the exact same thing if you were in the same shoes. Well, now you know what? It didn't happen. Instead, what happened? Prayer vigils. Peaceful vigils in Calgary, in the UK, all over Europe, all over the world.
That's right.
In support of Charlie Kirk and the ideal of free speech. That's what happened. And you know what? When some of these protests got a little bit rowdy, and I won't even say violent, but when somebody tried to start stuff up on them, it was those on the left trying to disrupt the peaceful candlelight vigils and prayer vigils.
That's right.
That's who tried to stir it up. The left was exposed for their BS and their tactics. And what continues to happen, and the media continues to double down on this, is they continue, in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, they have not learned. They continue to take Charlie Kirk's comments out of context to try to paint him as a hateful person.
And all the right does is play 30 seconds before and 30 seconds after the comment that they employ, and they're always proven to be wrong.
It will backfire on the left in the midterms because what this will do.
Who told you that?
It's opening the eyes of everybody.
That's right.
Because now the media is less trusted than before.
Was that even possible?
Yeah. If it was, I mean, Congress, media, they're at the bottom of the trust scale in this country.
Agents, lawyers, used car salesmen.
The worst. They're all the worst.
But what's going to happen is now you're going to start seeing people question the media's taking of quotes from political candidates, which we saw here in our race for state representative.
No doubt about it.
We were a microcosm of people waking up and actually doing some homework and not trusting postcards in the mail and the media and the mailers, and actually doing their own research to go, hey, you know what? He really didn't hang out with a bunch of Nazi sympathizers.
Yep.
That's what's happening now. And that will be the consequence, and good, because I've long said the worst voter is a stupid, uneducated voter.
That's right.
And we've had too many of them have just been force-fed what the media gives them and believes the lack of context sound bites that has become what drives the media. I mean, it's
they vote based on emotion.
Yeah.
If you vote based on emotion, I've never voted just to cancel somebody. I've made my own decisions years ago. I literally never go into a store intending to buy anything with a Nike logo on it. And I used to wear Nike like I would wear polo. It was like, oh, when in doubt, man, if I can afford it, I'm going to buy that Nike shirt. They became woke. They misled people with their advertising. They lied about certain situations. And I just didn't make a big deal about it. I just quit buying Nike. And my family doesn't buy Nike. On occasion,
says the guy wearing the Nike Astros jersey,
you get stuck. I'm an Astros fan. It's like I don't eat meat unless it's ribeye. It's like it trumps my conviction because I'm an Astros fan. And also, but for example, I buy burnt orange gear. I don't buy much Texas gear with the Nike swoosh on it. But it's a personal decision. it's really not having the economic effect on Nike that I thought it would. But in this case, when a group of people
but it's having a positive effect on your wallet.
But nobody seems to be willing to address the fact that we're lopping off low-hanging fruit that doesn't make anybody any money. Good morning. Speaking of money, Candace Money, good morning, my dear friend.
Matt Boucher, we didn't get through roll call. Lisa Poole, Adam Sugar, Jarrett McCrugan, Marina, good morning. Greg Garcia, Michelle Hawkins, Junior, Samples, Micah Patton, Scott Snow, Crystal Mapp. We got Tammy Williams. We said hi to Andy Rokovich. I know Judge Posey's in, Andrew Alvarez.
Good morning.
Good group
morning,
this morning.
It's a great group. It's a
Buddy
great discussion.
Torn Bales.
Disagreeing isn't bad. And I don't want you to feel like I'm swaying with the wind. My willingness to allow Kimmel to be canned does not overshadow my personal steadfastness that would just love to debate Jimmy Kimmel and say, I wouldn't fire you over this, but you're just stupid.
Yeah, no, and that's where I am. I don't believe who the shooter was. I don't believe he deserved to be indefinitely suspended. And again, the media is spinning this on the right that he's been canned. That hasn't been the case. He's been indefinitely suspended. I bet you it'll be a 2-week vacation and he'll be back.
Yeah, he's in Cabo right now.
Probably.
Good morning, Sheriff Louderback.
But Andrew Alvarez says, it happened to Tucker Carlson.
It did happen to Tucker Carlson, and nobody cared because the only people that care are on the left.
But you know what's funny? Tucker Carlson is entrepreneurial enough to go and do his own thing. He's probably making more money. Glenn Beck, same way. He used to be on Fox. He went and started his own thing. He's blowing and going.
Glenn Beck, he left one vice, being an alcoholic, for another vice. Yeah. He's now a Mormon.
Yeah. And the other thing, and really with Charlie Kirk, I saw some post from some leftist yesterday. He's a mediocre college dropout trying to convince other mediocre potential college dropouts.
He just didn't like what he was being taught in college and went and taught himself.
Folks, the guy makes he's making 9 figures a year with Turning Point, or was.
Yeah.
He's not a mediocre anything. He's the embodiment of what America stands for.
Absolutely.
And that's making something of yourself.
I think it's time to rediscuss my salary here. If he can make
nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Friends, if you haven't been to Palace Bingo, you need to be there next Thursday.
Yes.
The 25th.
We're going to have fun.
It is the day before my birthday. Bring gifts. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. It's going to be a great time. You'll love it. We'll love it. The American people will love it. Bob Dole may show. USA Concrete Coatings, 578 home. Let Charlie Garcia and his team come out and give you a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't crack, stick, peel, or fade. And you can light that with new lighting, LED. Change the ballasts from Went Services. Went Services can help you with all your needs. They can also give you turnkey generator service. They will reach out to you when you need more lighting, more power in an outage. Went Services is there. Atzenhofer and the Atzenhofer dealerships inviting you to come by and see the new Chevys on the lot. They have Mitsubishis as well. But go by and see the pre-owned vehicles. They've got a bunch.
They've got a bunch, nice gorgeous ones, and great selection right now of brand new Tahoes and Suburbans.
Atzenhofer, check them out at atzenhofer.com. Brand us. Our man, Commander Cody, can help you with your website, with your Facebook presence, monetizing things in general, unless you need to get on PayPal. You just reach out to Commander Cody for all your help. He's a genius with anything other than collecting money. Get with Cody. He's just shaking his head. Cody knows it's all being dished out in love. Shake your head, Cody. You're on the camera. He's just not going to do it. He's not going to be told what to do. I'll tell you.
He wanted to say something, but
he's smarter than that. He knows that we could always put him on indefinite suspension.
I was just thinking about the Major Dumper award I got yesterday on the show. And I wasn't even here. And I was like, this is a bunch of crap. And
no pun intended.
Right.
Chesnick Furniture, Chesnick and Love make your house a home. See why you just always do better at Chesnick.
Always do better at Chesnick. And don't forget the chopping block, $14.99 a pound ribeyes. Really, really good steaks.
Oh, yeah. No, they're fantastic ribeyes. And
best price in town on the quality ribeyes that you're going to get the chopping block.
That's absolutely true. It's almost a loss leader to get you in the door. Then you can buy a $5 chicken breast, $5 a pound, $3 ribs, and barbacoa boudin's back.
Yeah, if you're there today for the ribeyes, let me know if the boudin's there. I'll go pick some up tomorrow.
There you go. And after you eat that for a couple of days, call Para Vita Wellness to get back on your program. Let the Vita Cafe go in this weekend for the Vita Cafe brunch. Thank you. I was losing that word because I don't do brunch. I just get up late and eat breakfast.
Brunch
go by
is
the
a hard
Vita Cafe. Fantastic offerings there. So continue. There were some things we were going to talk about yesterday that we didn't.
You
waited
for me?
We did. We waited for you. Well, federal rates get cut. Kimmel got cut. The Fed rate got cut down half or a quarter point.
Well, so wait, go back to that one comment there by Heather Stewart, because I'll point this out. And I support this. I'll believe her on this. Kimmel's viewership has been on a gradual decline for years. Maybe it's just Netflix taking over. With little spikes during major, mainly political events. His show has run its course. It makes it more important that when Kimmel talks about political events, that he gets it right. We're living in a really charged environment where teachers are being fired correctly for espousing their political views in class, but particularly because they're saying, Charlie Kirk had it coming. That kind of stuff is dangerous. It invites violence.
Well, think about Letterman and Leno and Carson and they made fun of all politicians. Mm-hmm. Saturday Night Live in its heyday made fun of all politicians. They've all skewed right, and as a result, they've lost half their viewership or more.
You mean skewed left?
Yes. As they've all skewed left, they've lost half their viewership because those on the right that used to watch, those in the center that used to find the bipartisan humor funny, have gotten tired of picking on one person.
That's right. I love HR Mallory. That has been Guillermo. Maybe Guillermo will do the show. I bet Guillermo say, I do the show for half the money. Guillermo's awesome. Give us a topic, something fun, something that will engage P. Strauss since we've already done the Astros update.
Well, what I think is fun, I shouldn't say funny, but Nick Maduro in Venezuela talking big talk because now we've destroyed 3 drug running boats.
Why are they
out of Venezuela?
Why are they coming? I mean, why isn't he condemning his country folk running drugs into the U.S.?
Because he's like Scheinbaum in Mexico. The cartels run his country.
That's exactly right.
It's even worse in Venezuela because it's state controlled. So the cartels are running that country.
Absolutely.
That's why he just talks bravado to the people, but he won't do anything about it.
Maduro, it's an act of war. Well, come get some.
Well, when you ram a U.S. Navy boat or aggressively go towards it and they're forced to shoot you out of the water.
Yeah. Like in other news, the industrial high school band was called up today to fight Venezuela. No casualties reported.
Did they wear their uniforms?
Yeah. They wear their uniform and they have the drum and fife corps out front. And then they just take the guns they have available at their homes in Inez and go out and slaughter Venezuela. That's about how long it would take. It would make Grenada look like a lunch break.
President Trump meeting with Keir Starmer today, the British Prime Minister, to discuss tariffs and other things. And apparently there's a few American companies set to announce big investments in Britain, and some British companies like GSK set to do similar announcements for investments into the U.S. Unfortunately, no movement on tariffs of Scotch.
Right.
As my Scotch drinking season is almost upon me.
You just showed me something that I'll tell you does disturb me. I don't think this is a right or a left position, but Antifa will be designated by the United States as a terrorist organization, President Donald Trump said. This falls into the same type. Antifa has no headquarters. Antifa has no hierarchy of leadership. Antifa has no public face spokesman. I know that I'm not Antifa. I know that. I mean, although it just means anti-fascist, and I guess I am that, but you know what I'm trying to say. I'm not Antifa. Trump says Antifa is terrible. That leaves it very vague and open to interpretation. It's dangerous when a president decides or an administration decides we're going to go after Antifa. That sounds great to MAGA Republicans. Let's go get Antifa.
Till the next one goes, we're going to designate MAGA.
Or just show me where Antifa is. I mean, show me Antifa. It's very dangerous to declare entire groups of people a terrorist organization when you don't have an Ayatollah Khomeini to point at the top. I did see something.
No, if they really want to get serious, go after George Soros and all his funding of the leftist
NGOs
extremes and some of the things that he's done that actually have led to violent protests. That's who you need to go after.
Yeah, I have no problem with going after the NGOs that they suspect were involved in funding some of these things and these hate groups that end up birthing people like the shooter of Charlie Kirk. I did see something yesterday that went, it was all over social media, that look at the arrogance of our president and look at the arrogance of your president for walking in front of King Charles, yada, yada, yada. If you go, they just had a snippet of a video where they're walking across the lawn at Windsor Castle, and there's a group of the dudes, right? The cool looking guys with the red, they've got the red jackets and they've got the black furry. They look like Fred Flintstone hats, you know?
Yeah.
And
Loyal Order of Water Buffaloes.
Yeah. And you clearly, if you watch the video, and I also went back because I'm a serious journalist, I went back and reviewed when President Trump was there with Queen Elizabeth. And it's even more glaring with Queen Elizabeth that they're walking together. It's very ceremonial. They're walking together across the lawn. And especially Elizabeth, and less openly, but the same motion literally is made as Queen Elizabeth goes, please, Mr. President, go ahead. Both trips involved President Trump reviewing the troops. And it's just it's like a dog rolling over on his back so you scratch his belly. It's just I submit my authority, you review my troops. And Queen Elizabeth literally went, take the lead, because she knows that pomp and circumstance require you to not walk in front of the king or the queen in this case. But in both instances, Ash,
told to do so.
Please review my troops. The left just goes, look at the arrogance of Donald Trump. Oh, he's taking the lead. He's walking in front of royalty. You know, and the same people that are bitching about that are the people that hold up signs, no kings, no kings. But while you're there, you've got to respect the monarchy. Hypocrites, the lot of them. Purple hair. What's not purple is gray. Couldn't pass a drug test. It's weed. No big deal. 60s hangover hippies. The lot of them.
3 officers killed, 2 wounded in a shooting in Pennsylvania yesterday. They were simply there to serve a warrant on a man for stalking and trespassing charges when he opened fire.
Unacceptable.
Will the left say anything about this?
No, probably white officers. You know, they had it coming. They're white.
Well, they're police, right?
Well, so they got to be white.
Yeah.
I heard a Democrat the other day, was it Booker? At any rate, referred to the right as defunding the police. He did say that.
Adam Schiff got handed to him by Cash Patel the other
Adam
day. It was
Schiff
beautiful.
is such an idiot.
Tropical storm Gabrielle is formed in the central Atlantic. Probably will not come anywhere close to the U.S. So we'll see what happens there. But, I mean, we're what? No, it's an ad.
Oh,
I was trying to see where Gabrielle was going to go, and I didn't. But we're third week of September, and we're only into the G's in the Atlantic hurricane season.
It's been a mild season. It's got something to do with that El Nino, La Nina thing.
Well, there you go. Cracker Barrel saying that customer visits to their stores fell after their announcement of their proposed logo change and their innovations to make it look more like whatever the heck. I don't even know. I can't even, I guess, homogenized.
Yeah.
Less country. And now they say that they're expecting that decline to continue for the next few months.
I think they should fall on the sword. Boy, we gave this advice to VISD and they didn't take it. I think they should fall on the sword and say, we made a mistake. Please give us another chance. And then at the same time, improve their food, just as VISD back then should have fallen on the sword and said, we shouldn't have raped you with that tax grab. Please give us another chance, and raised our scores. But instead, we just floundered and had Band-Aids on all of our buildings.
There, got the map for Gabrielle. It's going to go straight out of the Mid-Atlantic. It ain't going to do anything to us, and then it should weaken probably into strengthen into a hurricane by Tuesday, but then it'll start to weaken as it moves north. So, yeah.
There you have it.
There you go. Wow. Shipwreck hunters found a ghost ship in Lake Michigan, according to, where is this? I'm on CNN. I'm on CNN right now.
I would have had no idea that number is huge.
6,000 commercial vessels are on the seabed of the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
You forget how integral the Great Lakes are to commercial shipping, with the steel industry and everything else, that the fishing in there and everything else that went on. Man, that seems a lot.
So a little trivia for you as we stretch during the program.
Oh, we've got lots. We can get
while you drag up the next article. A little trivia is the very impetus, the beginning of the insurance industry involved commercial shipping, and people would go in and they would literally go into the pubs, into the bars. And I would take a knife and stick on the column there my manifest, where I was going, the value of my load, and people would underwrite. They would put their name under that offering and say, "I'll guarantee 10% of that loan of that cargo. I'll guarantee that." And other people signed up, and then the ship's owners and the people that were shipping would pay a percentage of that to the people who were willing to say, I'll take that chance. It may have been preset back then. You put up 1/10 or whatever. The fact that there are 6,000 ships on the seabed of the Great Lakes alone should help you understand why insurance rates have gone up over the years. It's risky business. It is the transfer of risk. So shut up and pay your premiums.
Yeah. You know, Donald Trump's in Europe when all of a sudden the environmentalists start clamoring for attention, and the New York Times with a big article on the Trump climate agenda.
Where has climate change been lately?
I have no idea. But what I find interesting is their own graph shows you how inconsequential renewables are.
Oh, yeah.
Of the 4 billion kilowatt hours generated for electricity, renewables don't even count for a quarter of it.
No, not even close to a quarter. More like looks like about an eighth.
Yeah, it's nothing. And natural gas, the bulk of it. Coal used to be a lot of it back in 2000. Renewables hasn't really grown, and they're trying to say, well, it's become a more partisan renewables in the New York Times. Renewable energy has become more partisan over the years. No, I think it's because We've stopped subsidizing it, and we need to stop subsidizing the oil companies as well, to be honest, get out of it completely. But since Obama left office, the subsidies for renewables have dropped.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't work. And then you get into places in the north where there's actually winter and you're generating zero energy from wind or solar.
Yeah.
So then you have to ramp up the natural gas. Here's the funny thing when you look at this nuclear power has stayed consistent for the last 25 years in what it generates, about 700 million kilowatt hours. That's it. It has proven to be the most safe, the most reliable,
the cleanest, by far the cleanest.
And this country won't invest. Why? Because the rich friends of Obama were all into solar and not nuclear.
That's right.
And the oil companies are too into the pockets of the rest of the politicians. So nuclear just goes nowhere. Anybody, I've lived here for 25 years, almost 30 years. I don't recall any issues out of Bay City.
No, never. No, you forget it's there. Linda Chris says 6,000 does seem like a lot of ships, but they've been trading there for over 200 years. That's still even, it was probably heavy loaded back then, but that's 30 a year. That's right. More than every other week for 200 years. Think about that.
Marcus didn't seem to like the rate cut by the feds yesterday. Marcus, I think we're down.
Yeah, I want to share something just because every now and then something catches my eye and I take the time to really read it and try to understand it. We talked the other day about the Mossad and Israel and some of the things that are going on. I could see Israel. I can see them having motive to minimize the speech of a guy like Charlie Kirk. And it's worth noting that I read a fairly connected timeline that Charlie was somewhat critical of Benjamin Netanyahu and used his voice, not anti-Semitic at all.
Anti-Israel, maybe.
But concerned about Israel and the direction Israel's leadership was going. And is a fairly legitimate timeline that makes you wonder, is it possible?
This kid wasn't Mossad.
Well, yeah, I agree. He's not Mossad. Wow. But you never know how you influence the ignorant. I mean, how many people that go in and blow themselves up in Israeli restaurants are really Muslim? Or are they just impressionable and
wow, that's the key point. Actually, I think the Dow Jones was up a little bit yesterday, so maybe it's just my pathetic stock portfolio that was down with the rate cuts yesterday.
You need to get on the Pelosi program. You need to get with Nancy.
Maybe so. U.S. downwardly revised job growth for 1 year ending in March, 911,000 jobs in this country.
But
which the government has nothing to do with, to be honest.
Cut benchmark rates to between 4 and 4.25, the lowest level in almost 3 years. Yep. Trump's been begging, probably behind the scenes, threatening that he wants interest rates to come down. No different than LBJ did for years. Different than others have done.
Might be a couple more cuts. Yeah, and you know what this does though? Think of the timing. It's September.
Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus.
Exactly why they did
more on your card. Yeah,
that's exactly why they did it. Exactly why.
I got a deal the other day based on my stellar credit, offering me a credit card. And when you read through 0% and a 1.5 back, and I read to the very end, 27.44% annual percentage rate. There's the crime in this country.
How much?
Folks. 27.44%. You want to really make a difference? Nobody wants to make a difference, really. You want to make a difference in this country? Put a cap on credit card rates that says the most it can be, and we'll let it fluctuate, is the whatever, institutionalize the something rate plus 8%.
If you can qualify for a mortgage at whatever rate, that should be your credit card rate. If it's 7%, there's your credit card rate. If you're a riskier lender, 10, 15, 30%, 25%, ridiculous. The loan sharks of the mob back in the day didn't collect 25% on you.
That's right. And the risk is not the only reason that people can't get out of credit card debt is the interest rate.
If you make your minimum payment, you're in there for 30 years.
And
right?
Now they've got a disclosure where they've got to tell you, if you keep paying the minimum, then you'll be done in 2086.
That was supposed to help people determine or help people make better credit decisions and help them get out of credit card debt. And I believe our credit card debt rate is growing and the highest it's been since 2009 in this country. I saw that statistic yesterday. Congress won't address this because Visa, MasterCard, and all the big banks that issue credit cards are all ingrained and big donors to their campaigns. That's why they won't address it. And the cartels are in with the banks. They've proven that as well.
A couple of things just to know that Torrin Bales just turned us off because he tips at restaurants with leftover diamonds. And it's worth noting that JP Hull, this is odd. JP, when he pays his credit card bill, he adds a little something for him. Like he adds a little tip to his credit card bill. Just because why not? He's got to help the little people. That's how it works. JP's there. Who else tips when they pay their credit card bill? Only JP. He can do that.
Oh, let's see. What is this on? Oh, Epic Times story on the healthcare system. This could be interesting. No doubt the cost of healthcare in this country is going through the roof.
No doubt.
I mean, it's always funny when they tell you at the pharmacy when you pick up your prescription that costs you $10. Well, without your insurance, this would have cost you $568.
Isn't that dumb?
Glad I got insurance.
Yeah, it's dumb. See, that's one place that I'm all about a free market. One place I've never had a problem with the government actually getting involved is, hey, look, man, let's limit the cost of insulin. I mean, people got to have it to live. It doesn't make sense to me I don't know. I guess I'm a hypocrite, but there's times that I'm just more of a pragmatist. Like, let's just do what makes sense.
Americans spent almost $5 trillion on healthcare in 2023. And I know that's a broad term I don't know what that all includes, whether that's your insurance premiums, eyeglasses, hearing aids, probably all lumped into there, right?
Read this comment. Americans collectively spent $4.9 trillion on healthcare in 23. No other country spends as much, yet Americans are less healthy than those in comparable nations and do not live as long. No other country spends more on fast food than Americans. No chance. There's no chance that anybody spends more on garbage in a bag than Americans. And there you have it. There's your healthcare problem.
But collectively, too, our insurance problem is broken because if I have Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas and I move to another state, I've got to go get Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Indiana.
Yeah, that's true. You should be able to transfer that. I've had a problem with healthcare, with health insurance for years, and I'll give you, especially if you're a small business owner, I'll give you an example that'll make you stop and think. If I have, pick a number, 5,000 employees.
That's not small.
Okay, that's not. But I can actuarially, I can tell you with mathematic precision, plus 95% accuracy. I can tell you how many have heart disease, how many have diabetes, how many are going to have cancer. I can tell you, I can underwrite and decide what I'm willing to take in exchange for covering their maladies very exactly. But now, drop it back to a mom and pop shop. They've got 8 employees. And Blue Cross goes, whoa, your rate's got to be higher because we can't determine. You've got 3 people over 50, and I mean, you're ahead for heart disease. And I don't understand why. And I need someone to explain it to me because I've only been in the business 30 years. I don't understand why Blue Cross Blue Shield can get away with not applying the same rate to every group. Because just because you have 5,000 employees, the reason you're so actuarially accurate is you know how many of those 5,000 are going to get it. So just divide that by 5,008. You still know how many are going to get it. What does it matter if all 8 of them are at this company? Their health insurance rate shouldn't be any higher than the receptionist at Exxon. It just shouldn't be. The idea that our health insurance is regulated by a very corrupt industry that wants to come in and say, King's X, there's only 10 of y'all. You've got this special rate sheet. That is something that needs to be looked in.
We've got a prayer vigil being held this Saturday evening, 7 o'clock at the Field of Honor. Several ministers from around the
Captain Kenny
city.
from the Salvation Army, a guest, Jim Grath. Who else?
Pastor Scott Weatherford.
Oh, great.
We'll all be there at the Field of Honor, 7 p.m. That's on the side
That's
of
a parkway,
right on Stockbauer. A prayer vigil this Saturday evening, 7 o'clock. Whole community's invited.
So if you're, I'm going to give you what I call the Protestant pass. If you go to the prayer vigil, you don't have to go to church on Sunday. It's kind of like, for you legalistic Protestants, it's kind of like my Catholic friends used to go, yeah, we're going to go ahead and go to church tonight because tomorrow's the Cowboys game. We're going to make a barbecue. And they would all go to church on Saturday night and say, do the Hail Marys.
Well, the other reason they did that is they got a free pass for the things they're going to say and do at the Cowboys lose on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Their slate was wiped clean for that week.
Absolutely. Thank God our slates can be wiped clean. We love you, folks. I hope you have a great day. It is Thursday. Get by the chopping block today. Gorge yourself tomorrow. Make up for it on Sunday at the Vita Cafe. Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.